Well, you've asked for it and here it is. Today we're gonna be unboxing and we're gonna cut slices of panettone and pandoro. Now, if you haven't watched my video on panettone and pandoro, which are probably the most common Italian Christmas desserts, go and watch it. Just a quick recap, this that I'm opening right now is a panettone. It is a Christmas dessert which is typical of the city of Milan, originated in Milan, and the brand of this one is Melegatti, but probably the most common panettone brand from Milan is Motta. And here you have it. Now you will see that this is a cake that has risen quite a bit. I don't know what kind of yeast they use, but the leavening process is quite long. So the leavening process of this particular cake, and I think of the pandoro too, is quite long, many hours. And I've seen them being made in bakeries where they were hanging upside down. I don't know why, but I'm not an expert, but I remember I have seen them. So you see that the panettone, when you open it, is surrounded and also has on the back this special paper wrapping. Because it's made like cupcakes, you put the dough in the paper, then it rises, and after you bake it, it's like this. Now what I like to do, and I think it's the wise thing to do, is in order to cut a slice or to eat a piece, you just tear the paper, okay, in order to have a clear access to the portion of panettone that you want to cut. And also I like to put a knife, maybe a thinner knife than this one, between the bottom of the panettone and the paper, so that you won't have part of the cake sticking to the bottom, so that when you cut a slice it comes out neatly. And here you can see the panettone and its insides. You can see the raisins and you can see the candied, I think this is orange or tangerine or something like that, peel. Now look at the beauty of this cake. Now I like the traditional kind of panettone, which is this one with raisins and candied fruit, but since many children are not big fans of raisins and or of candied fruit, you will find special kinds of panettone without those items in the recipe, and you will also find panettone and pandori with different fillings like chocolate or pistachio, which in Italian is pistacchio, but this is the traditional. Now, raisins in Italian is uvetta, which is feminine singular. You could also say uvette, which is feminine plural, if you consider the single grains of grapes. Candied fruit is frutta candita. Frutta candita. So, traditional panettone, panettone tradizionale with uvette, raisins, e frutta candita. Now, on to our pandoro.
As I explained in the previous video,
per aprire, premere e sollevare. In order to open, press.
And then lift, sollevare. The cake is typical of the city of Verona in the region of Veneto,
Which is the region that also has Venice in it. As a matter of fact, Venice is the capital city of the region of Veneto.
And here you have your pandoro with your powdered sugar, fine powdered sugar. Now you can see the shape of this one resembles a star. Let me pull it out of the plastic bag so you can see the shape of this one. Pandoro, this is pandoro. You see that it's shaped like a star. And on top it's narrow, on the bottom it's a bit wider. And usually I like to cut slices that are either one whole segment of the star or a half. I'm not going to do this right now. I'm gonna save it because once you put powdered sugar on it, it's nice if you have friends or guests, and it's nice to eat as much as you can with the fresh powdered sugar on it. Otherwise, if time passes, it will get absorbed and it will get kind of crusty. I think that's the word. I won't put sugar icing now, but I will cut a slice for you so that you can see the inside of the pandoro. This one is pandoro, not panettone. Now, as you can see, the difference with the panettone is that this one does not have the paper wrapping. This is not made like a cupcake with paper wrapping on. This is served free, so to say. So it's quite different from panettone. The pandoro has much smaller, what we call alveoli, which is alveolus, the holes in the cake which are made from the leavening process. These are smaller than the ones on the panettone, and they're kind of tighter, so to say. So it has a different texture, and even if this one is at room temperature, you can feel that it's buttery. But as I told you in the previous video, it's ideal to eat it a bit warm and with the zucchero a velo, powdered sugar or fine powdered sugar on top. It gives it a nice white aspect. It looks like a snow has fallen on this delicious cake which originates from the city of Verona, Italy. And have you tried panettone or pandoro? Have you tried one of these? Have you tried both? And if so, which one is your favorite? Just tell me in the comments. As I was saying in the previous videos, Melegatti, which is this brand here, and Bauli, which is this brand here, are two of the major brands producing panettone and pandoro, but of course there are many other. I told you about Motta, which is a brand from Milan, so it would be more appropriate for me to have panettone made by Motta, because panettone is from the city of Milano, but there are many other brands. And in the last, I don't know, 15 or maybe 20 years, there's this phenomena of bakers or local bakery or pastry shops that make their own gourmet panettone and pandoro, either with premium organic or locally sourced ingredients or with fancy fillings. You will find these with chocolate or pistachio or fruit flavored custards of some kinds, but I still prefer the traditional recipes, and I have to tell you, my favorite is panettone. It used to be, when I was a child, I used to like pandoro best. I didn't like the raisins in this one, but now that I've grown, panettone is definitely my favorite, and the traditional recipe is always my favorite. But what is your favorite? Have you tried these? And if you haven't tried this, which one do you fancy more? You tell me in the comments. You know that I will answer to all your comments, and